Hello out there. This is Ben for Cinema Gulp. Got the Nog Champa burning and reflecting on the movies I saw this summer. Okay, so there are a bunch of movies I saw this summer. Some I got to review with John, some I got to review on other channels, some by myself. These are 4 films that I did not have a chance to review on the show, but I want to talk about because they represented the weird summer that was 2021. So first off, this was one that I really felt was amplified and successful due to the fact that I was sitting in a movie theater watching it, and that's F9. These movies are what they are. If you're on board with them, then you're going to like this one. If not, you should have jumped ship back in 2013 when Fast and Furious 6 came out. This is a stupid movie. It's a fun movie. It's funny, sometimes on purpose, sometimes not on purpose. I have to say, though, like out of all the Fast and Furious films, this one had the most ridiculously overblown globe-trotting and superpowered human beings that I've ever seen in Fast and Furious movie, and I was fine with it. I didn't care. Jordana Brewster, whatever her name is in the series, she was just working at a sandwich shop in the first movie, and now she's just an international assassin, and she can kick the living shit out of guys 10 times her size. Whatever. I don't care. This was not my favorite F9 movie. This was not my worst F9 movie. I would put this one somewhere right in the middle. This one is missing The Rock, and it's really missing it, if you know what I mean. It shows like how they get their assignment is just so random because there's no authority figure there to say, hey, we need this. We need you guys. We need you to reassemble the team. They just go out on this mission, and it doesn't matter how they got it or who told them to get it. So The Rock is definitely missing, definitely a missing element. Kurt Russell's a missing element. But there's some good new additions in here, and bringing back Han, come on, man. Even if they gave him 0 to do in this movie, it was so great to have him back. F9 was a movie I saw early in the summer, didn't get a chance to review it, so I wanted to talk about it really quick with you guys. The next one I saw was the Marvel movie, Black Widow. Didn't really care that much for this movie. It made some pretty poor decisions early on. It had some really awfully written characters. I will say, though, that, and I'm not alone on this, Florence Pugh is the best part of the movie. Her and David Harbour, for sure. Ray Winstone as the villain is forgettable and horrible and boring and stupid. And most of the action is not that great. I saw what they were going for early on in this one. They wanted to make it Winter Soldier-ish, but it just didn't work because they didn't have the Russo brothers directing it. Taskmaster, cool villain, conceptually, lousy realized. Just not realized well at all. Just a wasted opportunity with a cool concept for a character. Hawkeye, mentioned a lot in this movie. Jeremy Renner gets a voiceover, gets an audio clip, but not in this movie. Don't really understand why. Kind of figured if you get a Black Widow movie, you'd get a little bit of the relationship between Black Widow and Hawkeye, and you get a lot of talking, but you don't get any showing. So Rachel Weisz is okay. She's a fantastic actress. She's an Oscar-winning actress, but she's kind of boring in this movie, and her character is so fucking mishmash where she's sort of bad and then she's good, but she does these horrible things, and she tortures animals, and it's kind of played for a joke at one point in the movie. I just didn't get her character, and she didn't really get a redemption because the film almost felt that she didn't need one. So yeah, bullshit on that. David Harbour's funny. He's fun. I hope they do something else with him in the MCU. I really do. I think it'd be wasted if they don't. And the stinger at the end's pretty cool, setting up the Hawkeye show. That was kind of cool. I just didn't like. There's another movie I saw later on in this summer, which I'm going to get to. Female assassin, globe-trotting movie, way better than Black Widow. And that's how you do those kind of movies. So not a huge fan of Black Widow. Kind of boring. Just seems irrelevant in the grand scheme of things for where the MCU is now at this point. Some little side adventure with like prostitute assassins when we have an alien destroying half of humanity or half of the universe. So it seemed a little late and just not that good. Next up was probably my favorite one of these that we're going to talk about. And this was a surprise for me. The marketing campaign was kind of clever, but also a little obnoxious at times. So I didn't know what to make of this movie, but Free Guy was fucking great. Free Guy was a lot of fun. And it's so great and refreshing to see like an original IP, just a movie that's just an original idea. Sure, it's based off of like the video game world and the VR world and augmented reality. And I'm bad with video games. So if I'm saying something that doesn't make any sense, that's just because I don't know anything about video games. But what amazing special effects in this movie. Ryan Reynolds is so good. It's refreshing to see it's okay to still have your leading men be leading men and, win the day and be a good person. Ryan Reynolds is so good in this movie, and I love Joe Keery in this movie. My biggest issue with this movie is Taika Waititi's character. I can't stand him. He fails almost 9 times out of 10 with the humor he's trying to create. I just didn't get his villainous character, and he seemed like such a good pick to be this guy, but it just doesn't work. But this was a fun movie. This was a funny movie. I do think it's a movie you could take kids to, because some of the more adult humor will probably go over their head in sort of like a Shrek way. So Free Guy was a blast, pleasant surprise for me. I wish it was doing better because it is one of those, I have a lot of respect for it, that it's not some comic book. It's just, a fresh new take on something we've seen before, but done very differently with some really, truly awesome cameos and good performances. Fun, funny summer movie. Free Guy was badass. And finally, I get to what I just saw about a week ago, and I was on the Burn Network to review The Protege. Now, this movie was really cool. This was what a Black Widow movie could and should have been, at least to an extent. It's R-rated. It's fucking deliciously, brutally violent. It has an amazing, strong female lead character, Maggie Q. She's just a badass, traditional, ass-kicking female assassin character who's got a great set of skills, but also a great personality, and they really made her a great, sympathetic, interesting character with passions and interests and, sort of a hopeless romantic person. Samuel Jackson is her father figure. They build that relationship up. All these good things to make you care about the actions happening and the choices people make in this movie. And the action in this movie is my favorite action of the summer. It's incredible. The fight choreography is amazing. Martin Campbell, who directed this, has always been good at that stuff. Casino Royale, obviously. And then Zorro. Zorro was so swashbuckling, amazing action adventure for the time back in 98 or 99 when it came out. I think it was 98. He's back doing amazing work in this too, and letting the characters breathe and giving the audience time to know who they are, what their motivations are. There are problems with the overall plot of this movie, where some of the stuff, the villain's plot, the good guy's revenge plot, a lot of it doesn't come together. Unfortunately, there's things left undone, and there's obstacles that don't make any sense as to why that needs to happen. But they sound like big things, but they're actually more nitpicky, because the movie's just a blast from start to finish. And I love Maggie Q. I said this on PGS reviews with that I want to see Maggie Q in tons of these kinds of movies, because she just owns the screen, man. She just owns it. The Protege is a good end of summer movie. It's a good action movie. I called it in the review one of those mid-level movies where it's not a blockbuster, it's not an indie film, it's kind of that mid-range one, $20 to $30 million budget. I'm guessing it might have cost less. I'm not sure. It might have cost more, but it feels like one of those mid-range, mid-level movies that they don't make as much as they used to in the 80s and 90s. So that was good to see as well. So those are the 4 that I did not get to review that I did see over the summer, and all to some extent made an impact. Black Widow kind of just went in one ear and out the other for me. I didn't hate it. I just don't have that much to say about it. F9 is just like, I can't say F9 without smiling because it's so ridiculous, but I was so entertained. And Free Guy, my favorite of these 4. It's just it's just a perfect summer blockbuster. It's not going to win Oscars, but it's a great summer blockbuster with a smart script, and the world they create is very fun and interesting. And then, yeah, The Protege. Go see that one. Maggie Q, give her more roles. Okay, everybody, if you have anything that you saw this summer that you saw that we did not review over the summer, please comment in the comment section below. Maybe we can have you on and talk about it. We have a lot of stuff coming up soon. We're going to do another First of the Best, which is on the Anderson boys, Wes Anderson and Paul Thomas Anderson's first films. That would be Hard Eight and Bottle Rocket. So stay tuned for that. Also, you can see me over at the Bird Network on PGS Reviews with for our Protege review, and much more coming soon. Until then, everybody, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe if you haven't already. We drink your cinema.
I drink it up!